Start of the week got me feeling cute. Might delete later. Monday, the 25th of March. Come with me, the day in the life of running a tropical fish store. I'm absolutely hissing and fizzing and so excited to announce that we've got Dr. Gerald Baslier coming on to our Fanatics Friday coffee date on Friday. Get amongst it. Plant orders were the first thing to do this morning. Not a particularly big plant order, but it is what it is. We'll just get through it anyway. I don't know why plants that grow out of water, or as this case is sort of in the water, do this, but I think it's bloody cool. If you know, please let me know. Had some salt arrive today for our brine shrimp hatching. The next stage of potential offerings is just about here. And an update on the glow light danio fry. They are looking real good. Good size now, so hopefully another few days, maybe a week, we do some water changes. Not gonna lie, getting frustrated at all of this blackbeard algae. Also a little bit frustrated I couldn't get in focus. Hopefully some treatment will deal with that. Here's a little malnourished pea puffer. I brought in a bit of swamp water from my backyard today full of all sorts of goodies. So we poured that in there just like that. Excuse my poor videoing skills. And then he got a wee feed of all the good stuff. There's a bit of mosquito larvae, bloodworm, daphne, all sorts of good stuff that came out of my pond in the backyard. So he's definitely eating, which I'm absolutely fizzing about. Hopefully we can get some decent size on the little fella, or fella. Pretty sure it's a fella, because he's looking pretty thin and manky right now. So all going to plan. A couple months time we'll have a nice display tank for him. Froggos were looking at me with their come hither and feed me eyes. So what's a man to do? I had to feed them some super worms. Loved it, just like that. No mucking around today, no spitting it out. It's like, no, I'm getting amongst this. And the other one was exactly the same. So they had a couple of very happy frogs just chewing away on their super worms. How cool are froggos? Day's the day, time to order some rapashi. Here is my order list for the shop. Should last us a month, 6 weeks or so, give or take. And who would have thought when you actually feed live insects and like bugs, they multiply and they go really well. So they've eaten all of the fry food, these white worms, so I decided to put some more in, just like that. Just poured them straight over top. Hopefully I didn't hurt them, we'll find out. And Sappho was in today, doing his job, doing his good stuff. He's a happy wee chaffy. Look at this, happy Sappy. He did a phenomenal job in here. He cleans the inside of the tank, scrapes all the algae, and he cleans the outside of the tanks with all the watermarks and stuff like that. Today, the tanks are looking so sharp, it's not funny. Thanks, Saf, you're an absolute legend. Next task on his jobs list today was making up some rapashi. So it's a wee mix of reptile insect stuff as well as the standard Agapo Explorer. So this is one of the tasks that he does every Monday. And I thought, what better time than now than to water test this tank to see if we can move the frontosa in there so we can get the display tank in the shop. And I can tell you something for free, it is leaking. It's definitely leaking from this little corner here. There's a few little droppies, so that is probably not going to be the best option, although I might dry it out and just spot seal it. Brought in a whole lot more swamp water. This time was to feed the healthy pea puffers, so this has just been sitting in my backyard for quite some time. As we can see here, the little pea puffers love it. There's all sorts of goodies in here, like I said in the other lot. Lots of bloodworms, lots of mosquito larvae, lots of daphne, lots of all sorts of goodness. So we keep your eye on this red worm here when I get it into focus. Here comes a puffer. Here he comes. Bang, 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 bang. Chomp, 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 chomp. So happy days. Everyone loves a bit of live food, specifically, definitely. The pup, far out, Cam. Use words properly. And especially the pea puffers. There we go. As you can see down here in the substrate, there's all sorts of bits hanging around in there from that swamp water. So they're going to have a field day over the next day or so, having a good feed, filling up their bellies. Next on Saf's job list is to do water changes on all the mollies along this rack here. And so he's done the water changes, taking the water out. Now he's filling it up, doing a phenomenal job. And then I put him to task to try and find the fry from last week's spawnings. Unfortunately, he didn't find any, but he did see the elusive flamme tetra fry from the month before. We got some more fish in. Got a group of angelfish and some Prestella tetras in these two bags, and about 20 odd more Bosmani rainbows. These are all locally bred in Nelson. It's fantastic supporting other hobbyists doing their thing. And this is getting beyond a joke. It's just way too unorganized and messy and just scrappy and awful for me. So over the course of this week, I'm going to tidy this up because it's just doing my head and I need a little bit more order. The worst thing about keeping fish is there's always a mess. Even if you put stuff back, it never goes back, if that makes sense to everybody. I'm sure it absolutely does. This is the algae that I ripped out of the BMW tank the other day. It's dried off now, so I thought, why not see if the mollies were keen? Little bit of uptake when it was in the hand. As soon as I let go of it, they were way more keen on it, which I thought was kind of cool. Want not, waste not. It might as well feed them the algae if you've got the algae. Actually, it didn't come in the BMW tank. It came out of a little desktop tank. Anyway, I digress. I did think afterwards I might have just infested my tank with duckweed because we all know that could be like dried for 6 years and it would still come back with a vengeance. Nonetheless, I put it into that tank and I also put it in with our auto sink lifts that have just come in from quarantine. So I put some in here. So I'll be curious to know if the auto sink lifts chew this back overnight as well, because that's obviously been dried off. So it's a slightly different texture, I'm assuming, to what they're used to. And under the gazing eyes and the gazing look of Lieutenant Shiny Sides, I once again remember to turn the freezer lights off. How good.